Matisse, more Matisse.
As somebody who's a fan of Matisse, why do you say Matisse? What is it about Matisse that you feel an affinity with?
Matisse, more Matisse.
Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your weekly roundup of all the sporting events of the week. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here risking my life, so make sure you smash up the like button. It was raining, it was pouring, it was thundering, lightning, lashing loudly. It was long out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? They even had a moderate warning. When I checked the weather app to see if it was safe to come outside yet, they said moderate warning. Moderate warning, you could lose your life in these streets. And I'm not talking about the stabbings, I'm talking about the weather. So you man have to make sure that you look after me, okay? Bulletproof, smash up the likes, do you know what I'm saying? Get the algorithm going and let's get these comments flowing. Big up your damn selves already on the way, and I'm already excited for this episode because a lot has taken place, do you know what I'm saying? It's mad. And I do lie to you and say that I'm gonna cover all the sporting events of the week. Really, I'm only covering football and F1. But when you're out here at 4 a.m. in the morning, really, when you could be lying down with the gal and just having a nice sleep, you're really just only going to cover what you have energy for. So let's keep it a buck. And for those that don't know, I was out on the lash on Saturday night, so I'm still recovering from that. So yeah, I really don't have the energy to chat about the cricket and that shit. So we're going to get into what is a wonderful weekend of football. And we're starting with the Premier League, of course. Probably the only league I'm going to touch on right now because it's just that mad this weekend. I feel like it needs that extra attention. And then we'll get into the F1 after. Liverpool losing at Nottingham Forest. You man lost to a bunch of tree trunks, fam. This is mad. Wolves even dispatched of them. Did you not see the picture with the whole like cut? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you man lost to Nottingham Forest. This is a team, to be fair though, Klopp would say we cannot compete. And he wouldn't be wrong. He would not be wrong if he said we cannot compete. You know Nottingham Forest, they bought 22 players, or 28. It was something in the 20s. I stopped counting after like 12. Liverpool ain't ever done that, so you have to keep it a buck and say, can Liverpool really compete with Nottingham Forest? And the amount of money that they've spent and the amount of players that they've brought in, is it really fair? Maybe he's part of the few teams that Klopp was talking about, along with the likes of PSG and Newcastle. Like I said, stinky, dirty oil clubs. Shocking behaviour. Us American ownership clubs like Liverpool, Chelsea, we just can't compete. So I understand exactly where he's coming from, but I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of young players in that team. A lot of players that they've propped up and gassed up and said they're the next big thing. Well, listen, this is the time to step up. You know what I'm saying? The oldies, not Milner because he's still kicking ball at right back and doing his thing, but the older players, some of them in the midfield, they've been run ragged this season. It was an opportunity for the likes of Carvalho, Elliott, you know, Jones. I've heard a lot of gas and smoke about Jones. Do you know what I'm saying? I only know Indiana Jones, but you know, this Jones I'll get to know. And they lost. And it's long and it's mad, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's football is a humbler. It is a humbler. I will 100% tell you that. Salah had 4 passes in the whole game. I still don't understand how that's possible, and it happens because when I check the stats, Aubameyang had 4 passes as well. So this is not an agenda. I swear to you, I'm not running any agenda. But because Salah is like one of the best players in the world, and he can drop deep and create like Hazard, I expected him to have more than 4 passes. So I'm just a bit shocked. Maybe Liverpool couldn't get him into the game enough. I don't know. But yeah, it's long. So mad for you, man. And, you know, roll safe. You know, like I am out here in the dry. There's no rain and whatnot. So yeah, everybody's safe. It's calm. It's mad. It's mad. How did you lose to Forest, man? Anyway, sorry, because my team didn't even do its thing, so I can't get too shameless. Moving on swiftly to Tottenham. It's the history of the Tottenham, do you know what I'm saying? These lot, 2-1 defeat against Newcastle at home, and Callum Wilson with a wonderful finish. That left foot clip, just wonderful. But where was the goalkeeper? Hugo Lloris. Oh, I know. He was out here trying to get a foul for literally minimal contact, if any. Of course, there was a little bit, but really Wilson had nowhere to go. My brother, you're a goalkeeper. In your box, you get that protection. Welcome to outside your penalty area, yeah? Welcome to the real world. Because you know, goalkeepers just get bare protection. They've got like 10 condoms on. Just don't even need all this protection, but they get it anyway because it can happen. And we've seen big injuries before. You know, Pear checking them, man, big up him. So it can happen. You need to protect your goalkeepers. My brother, when you're out on that normal part of the grass, shout out Reece James for the new haircut, looking like grass. If you're out there on the normal part of the pitch, big man, you better learn to have some contact. And that's exactly what he felt. He didn't deal with it, but he had to hold that smoke. I'm not going to lie, that wonderful dink. And Almiron. This brother's moving like some sort of medicine. And he's curing Newcastle fans. 2-1, his wonderful wizardry down that right. Wow. Grealish, you have pissed this man off you've pissed him off to the next level. Grealish, you need to make an apology video. Because, you know, it's not like as if you're that busy anyway. Mate, just make an apology video. We ain't seen no Gucci, we ain't seen no Gucci collaboration. I'm yet to see some sort of like mad reveal or anything. You're not really integral to what City are doing. Brother, just send the apology, man, so Almiron can calm down. Because this brother's pissed this season. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like he just read that disrespect, hung it up on his bedroom door, and framed that shit and said every single day he woke up and said, I will avenge Jack. And bang, he's out the door. Do you know what I'm saying? It's nuts. You need to make sure that you say sorry, man, because this brother's angry. Newcastle are now in 4th, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little bit scared. And I'm not even being sarcastic. They haven't got Europe. They got a good team. They got money behind them. They spend it smartly at the moment, and they got January. And I'm telling you, in this World Cup year, where maybe not a lot of their players will go, like not all of them, Longstaff and them, man, will stay home. Do you know what I'm saying? They're definitely not part of the staff. Bro, they might do a madness, you know. You just have to be careful. Anything can happen. And when we're talking about shocks of the season, this calendar year, I love talking about calendar years. This calendar year, they've been one of the most informed teams. And we have to be very careful. Eddie Howe's a good coach. It's long. It's mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to sweat. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got no beef with the Geordies. Big up you, man, up north. I've never even been to your city. Seems like a great place to party. But if you, man, get involved in the top 4, I will start sending for you as well. Okay? Anybody can get it. I don't give a shit who you are. If you get in the way of my team qualifying for the Champions League, we're going to have problems. And don't think I'm not going to run this oil thing. I will run the agenda like you've never seen before. You won't even think that my team used to be owned by Roman Abramovich. I will pretend like we're piss poor and we are just like anybody's cat and dog fam. Like just some random team that haven't got the capacity to compete. I'm starting to understand where Klopp's coming from. What a win. And you man are in the top 4. Big up to you, man. It's not even a joke. You man are looking really, really good. And yeah, it's mad. But getting over to Arsenal, to be honest, I'm not going to grill you lot. I can't. It would be stupid. We didn't even gain points on you. I said in the last episode, Arsenal must be stopped. I feel like that had a little bit of a juju factor on the situation at hand. They were stopped or at least paused. Now, yeah, I'm going to say it was paused. It wasn't really stopped. So I'm going to say again, Arsenal need to be stopped. Because obviously, you man didn't hear me in Southampton. Not paused, stopped. Like, actually red light, yeah? No more driving, no more moving, no more coasting, no more winning, no more even collecting points. I need them to start collecting L's. We didn't gain on them, but at least they dropped points. But yeah, I'd be shameless to even think I could send shots for the top of the league. So I'm not going to. Moving on. Manchester City did their thing. Obviously, they won. Haaland scored 2 goals. Nobody cares. Get a job. You're boring me. Chelsea versus Manchester United. I don't really want to talk about this again, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But what I will say is Casemiro is a wonderful footballer. I wish I had a midfielder like him in my team, because I feel like my team could desperately deal with a holding midfielder. Please, Chelsea in January, go and get a fucking holding midfielder. It's been like 5 years now. Please, go and get a holding midfielder. Go and get a right back that can run faster than Azpilicueta and that can go forward and play in a possession-based team and not make us limited. And can you also do those 2 things without signing anybody else beforehand and splashing 100 million on wingers and more forwards and more glitzy glamour signings? Because I'm getting bored now. I'm really losing all excitement for any attacking signing, and because they're all just coming here and getting frustrated. So if you don't mind, it would be an absolute wonderful thing if you could do that. And Manchester United played really well. They dominated the game. They deserved to win. I said this all before. And you guys, fuck you, yeah? Because you ruined my weekend, really, to be honest. And I'm not really appreciating it. Casemiro in the last minute, regardless of how well you played, it hurts. It stings. I'm in pain. I wanted to come on here shamelessly on a Monday morning and rip the piss, but I can't do that. Hence why I've had to halt most of the banter, because you lot, you don't know how to just stop drawing games with us. Whether we dominated Old Trafford last season and still draw, or you dominate Stamford Bridge and still draw, it's boring, okay? Somebody needs to start winning these matches. At this point, I don't really even care who. Just somebody take wins in these games, because it's so predictable, yet I don't predict it because I want to be the hopeful one. And now I'm looking like the stupid one, not the special one. Shout out the special one as well. Also, moving on. So that's my spiel there. Sancho, I'm not going to bother get onto you because my wingers are not doing anything anyway, or any of my attackers for that matter. So yeah, it is what it is. Moving on. I can't be asked. I'll let somebody else deal with that like Tobes. Wow. I have to say as well, massive respects to the relegation teams, yeah? Leicester, you won. Obviously Nottingham Forest, we've mentioned you. Shout out you, man. But Leicester, you, man, stepped up this weekend. So did Everton as well. You both battered your teams. And it's just mad. The bottom of the table decided, listen, we ain't going to be disrespected any longer. We're going to stand up, stand tall, and try and actually make something of this season. And I'm impressed, you know. Big wins for both of you. Maddison, if he is not on that plane, I said he should be on the starting 11. If he's not on that plane, Southgate, it's going south for you, mate. I'm not going to lie. You better make sure that he is on that plane, because he should be starting. He's that good. But I rest. Do you know what I'm saying? Tielemans obviously scores his yearly screamer, and it doesn't make you any more of a reliable player, my mate. All right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit salty that he scored against us in the FA Cup final, so I don't like him, and I'm not going to drop anything on that front. Yep, just going to move on because I'm still angry about that. But yeah, great goal. So Leicester did their thing. Everton did their thing as well. Gordon, you know what I'm saying? Big up. We had a whole scouting report on you. You look all right. But yeah, thanks for not actually making us spend 50, 60, 70, 80 million on you, Frank Lampard. Shout out to you for that. Gerrard obviously got sacked, and that made Aston Villa look like 70s Brazil. Another team down there that absolutely cooked. Leon Bailey, I don't know. Finally, now we saw the Jamaican in him. The sauce was there. A little bit of reggae on that left-hand side. Wonderful to see. And Ings obviously scored as well. Aston Villa just absolutely just destroyed them in the first opening parts of the game. I really don't know who Gerrard really is anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you've shackled my Aston Villa, my poor beloved Aston Villa, like this. But big up the Burgundy boys. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. What do you can't believe? And I want to move on also to F1. I know I've probably missed out some of your teams, but I don't really care. I'm 12 minutes into the video. I've already got full monetization, so you're just gonna have to hold that. Now, let's get into Formula One, because it was a very interesting race. Not at the beginning, because Sainz decided to absolutely drop to his knees and suck off Red Bull like he always does, the former Red Bull driver, and just allow Max Verstappen to pass because he was sleeping on the start. But it's fine. I'm not going to hold a grudge, because it was actually quite entertaining. Alonso decided to do a wheelie. Alonso was doing a wheelie. He drove a Formula One car on two wheels after having a collision with a Canadian that wasn't Latifi. It was actually Stroll. So yeah, it was mad, and I'm not sure how he didn't get driver of the day. He did get deducted a whole heap of places in the end, but he did finish 7th. I don't know why he got deducted places. I can't even remember the report because it's been so long into the video I've forgotten some of the part on this side. But yeah, he got deducted and he didn't get driver of the day, and I think it's a disgrace. To be honest, if you finished the car in 7th, oh, I remember now, it's because of the car wasn't sent out the right way or whatever. Blah 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 blah. If you finish 7th after doing a wheelie, like, come on, man. Give him driver of the day. It's ridiculous. He's an old man at this point and he's doing wheelies. It's ridiculous. Man belongs in a gang. It's the only Fernando I'll ever love. Do you know what I'm saying? Not Marcus. And yeah, Verstappen has an 11-second pit stop, and you think to yourself, as a Hamilton fan, as a Mercedes fan, that you actually might see heaven this weekend. You actually think to yourself that finally Lewis Hamilton is going to get his first win of the season, and I am going to get to enjoy my weekend, because it's going horribly up until this point. I'm getting slapped about on FIFA career mode in front of everybody on YouTube, and I can't even fucking, you know, when this happens privately, you can just say, I'm not going to save the game, I'm going to just quit, and I'll come back and play these same fixtures the next day. Or I could have just said, I'm not going to, I'm just going to start again. I can't do that when it's live because you guys can watch it. But anyway, my weekend gets worse because Hamilton is leading the race thanks to an 11-second stop from Verstappen. Red Bull, I hate you. Todd Boehly, if you're listening.
You know, Red Bull does a really good job.
I don't like Red Bull, Todd Boehly. You shouldn't either. Let's all run this Red Bull agenda together. Cost caps, everything. Just bastards, the whole lot of them. Christian Horner winning a Constructors' Championship, it gives me great pain. I know that Mercedes did it so many years in a row. I didn't get bored of it once. I'm already bored of Red Bull. This is like Vettel all over again when he won 4 in a row at Red Bull. Stop this shit immediately. I'm extremely salty. But yeah, Verstappen has a whole 11 seconds in the pit stops. He could make a coffee in that time. Maybe a little latte. Maybe he wants to take a shit. You know, I don't know what happened. They couldn't get the wheel on, but yeah, basically he was able to just chill in there for 11 seconds and still win. Because basically he just goes through the field like he always does, and Hamilton is a sitting duck. Leclerc doesn't want to defend because he's a little bastard, and Vettel comes in as well. Aston Martin couldn't leave him out there any longer. The pagans, they decided to bring him in. Bastards. Then they get points, even though you're meant to be our sister team because you literally have the same engine, you pricks. And then I see Hamilton with 10 laps left and only about 4 seconds up the road, and I see Verstappen gaining on him, and the commentary, it's such an entertaining race. Oh, what's going to happen next? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I know you're trying to make it interesting. I know you're trying to bring in new views, but anybody who's actually watched Formula 1 for more than 2 days knows that Verstappen is going to overtake Hamilton. We know he's a sitting duck. We know that he's not going to win this race. So stop torturing us with your pedantic, plain, plaster commentary and just admit that this race is over. And that is exactly what ended up happening. He got overtaken with many laps to spare, and then he cleared off down the road like he always does, the absolute pagan. So yeah, as you can see, my weekend hasn't really gone that well, and I have nothing more to say. Ran over. Trying to think if I've forgotten anything. I didn't really look around Europe this weekend because I felt like we just needed to stay home. Speaking of, I don't know why Piers Morgan and Kanye West are mentioning my name, Matisse, in their big blockbuster interview, but as much as I do like any extra clout I can get on this YouTube channel, I don't want any plugs from you two. So please, with all of the shit that comes out of you guys' mouths sometimes, please don't bring me involved into your, you know, your convos. Didn't appreciate it. And what else do we have? Oh yes, the Prime Minister's gone. I mean, that's not really relevant at all to anything. I just thought it was funny. In a bit, people. Peace.